Hey everybody, it's Jakub from Montreal K9 Training. Today I will do a video, a demonstration on the introduction on how to teach your dog the recall command. What is the recall command? It's the ability to have your dog return to you whenever you decide to call it. Why is it important? First of all, it's a huge safety issue, a massive safety issue. Imagine you're playing fetch, you throw the ball bounces across the street, your dog starts chasing it, it could get very easily hit by a car. What if you're bringing the groceries into your home? You leave the door open, the dog steps outside, maybe it sees a squirrel, it sees a cat across the street, it just decides to take off, start chasing the squirrel, start chasing the cat, not paying attention to its surroundings, not listening to your voice commands, and it could get very easily hit by a car, lose its legs. Worst case, you could end up with a dead dog. It happens all the time. That's how dogs get killed all the time. What about the backyard? How many of you guys leave your dog in the backyard, and when it's time to call your dog, it decided it wants to play, it wants you to chase it, it's not coming back. So it's going to save you a lot of frustration, it's going to save you a lot of headaches, a lot of problems, will take a lot of weight off your shoulders, will save you a lot of stress. So the recall command is extremely important. I'm going to step outside in the backyard and do a demonstration to show you guys how to introduce your dog to the recall command. What tools do I use and how do I teach the recall command? If you have a very young puppy, so if you have a puppy under 4 months old, under 3.5 months old, you want to only use the slip lead. I recommend just using a regular slip lead, and you pair that with food. When I say to pair it with food, I'm not talking about treats. I'm talking about the dog's daily food. So if your dog eats 2 cups of kibbles, you put that away in a jar and you feed the dog slowly throughout the day. So you only feed the dog during the training session. That way it teaches the dog to work for its food. It's going to produce excellent results and it's going to build your relationship. If your puppy is over 4 months old, you could start it off on a prong collar, but eventually you want to transition to the e-collar. Why? Because you're looking for off-leash recall. Guys, my clients are looking for off-leash recall. They want to be able to take their dog to the beach, they want to be able to take their dogs to the hiking trail, to off-leash events, family vacations. So at the end of the day, my clients are looking for off-leash recall. The only way you can have your dog safely off-leash is with the e-collar. It's going to guarantee you a 100% recall situation under high distractions. Also, I'm not zapping or I'm not shocking dogs into listening to me. I'm using extremely low and gentle levels. So the idea that we're shocking the dogs into listening is totally false. It's not what I do. I use extremely soft and gentle levels to communicate with my dog. The cool thing about the remote collar is you can communicate with your dog from 1 foot away or up to a mile away. So it's extremely powerful, it's extremely effective, it's extremely humane, and it's just the best tool out there. So why would you not want to use the best tool if it's available? And I will show you exactly how to do it. So we start off with this, a short leash. Remember, what I do is I layer tools over existing tools. So I don't just start off leash. First of all, I start on the leash, short distance, I build the distance, I transition to off leash, and then I transition to higher distractions and more challenging situations. So how is it going to work? What you want to do is you want to say the dog's name. So you say the dog's name, you say the command. You could say come or here. I like to use here. So you say the dog's name, you say here, As you're giving it the command, at the same time you give a tiny bit of leash pressure, just a little bit of leash pressure. The moment the dog turns around and commits to coming to me, I'm going to let go of the pressure. I will start backing away, start praising the dog. When the dog gets to me, I will give it a food reward. So let's see how it goes. Break. Break. Benny here. Good. Break. Benny here. Good. Break. Benny here. Good. Break. Benny here. Good. Break. Benny here. Good boy. Good boy. Break. Benny here. Good boy. Good boy. So what's happening? I'm saying the dog's name, so I'm saying Benny. I'm giving the command. You could use here, you could use come. Stick to one word, so I'm saying Benny here. As I'm saying here, little bit of leash pressure. The moment the dog turns around, makes the commitment, let go of the pressure, back away, step up the praise, give it a food reward. So now I'm going to build a bigger distance. So I will put the dog on a longer leash and I will show you how to do it. So I'm going to switch my leash from like a 4 to 6 foot leash to a longer leash, 25 foot long leash. And same thing. Break. Okay, break. Benny here. Good. Good job. Benny here. Good job. Break. Benny here. Good boy. Again, once the dog turns around, starts making the commitment, let go of the pressure, and you want to be backing up as you're praising the dog. You want to encourage that forward motion. You want to encourage that drive. It's going to help you build that relationship. Also, what is a short distance recall now becomes a longer distance recall. So you're gaining extra distance, you're making extra progress. So now we want to start, so of course you do everything many times, dozens and dozens of times, hundreds and hundreds of times, and then you want to transition to the remote collar. So I will show you how to do it. Now, this is an introduction video to the recall, so I'm not going to go in depth on how to use the remote collar. You should never use this unless you are highly skilled, unless you understand how it works, because once again, I'm not zapping, I'm not shocking dogs into listening. What I'm doing is using it as a soft, gentle form of communication, very low levels. Most humans cannot feel the levels that I'm using. You would give this to your kids. If I would do this exercise with them, they wouldn't feel it. So it's very soft and gentle levels. Why someone would not want to use this makes absolutely no sense. If you're looking for 100% guaranteed recall under high distractions, this is the way to go. This is the training method, and as you will see, the dog is perfectly fine. So I'm going to put it on right now. So right now I have the remote collar on the dog. What's going to happen is I'm going to do the same thing, but instead of just leash pressure, I will also be using remote collar pressure. So I will be using both the leash pressure and the e-collar pressure. I do this, again, you do this a couple dozen times, a couple hundred times, and then eventually you want to stop using the leash and you just want to be using the remote collar pressure. So I'm going to let the dog walk away. I will say the dog's name. I'm going to say here. As I'm saying here, tiny bit of leash pressure, tiny bit of remote collar pressure. The moment the dog turns around, makes a commitment to coming to me, let go of the pressure, step up the praise, food reward. So this is how it goes. Okay. Benny here. Good boy. Good boy. Break. Okay. Okay, you can go. Here. Good. Good job. Okay, break. Benny here. Good job. Why did I drop the leash? Believe it or not, I'm using such gentle pressure that I'm just using my 2 fingers and the leash slipped out of my fingers. That's how soft and gentle I'm using everything. Break. Benny here. Good. If you notice, the dog is starting to hang around with me, and that's what you're actually looking for. You want the dog to be paying attention to you. You want the dog to think that you are the center of its world. You want to be the focus of your dog's attention. You want to be the center of your dog's world. I will try to get the dog distracted, and then I will recall it to me. Ready? Okay, let's go. Benny here. Good. Good job. Break. Break. Benny here. Good. So you do this a couple dozen times, a couple hundred times, and right now you just switch to the remote collar. So I'm going to take the leash off the prong collar. I'm going to just put it on a regular flat buckle collar, so all I'm going to be using is the remote collar from now on. So the leash is just on a flat buckle collar, and I'm just going to be using remote collar pressure at this moment. When I lift my hand, it means I'm pushing the button. When I let go of my hand, it means I stop pushing the button. I'm going to say the dog's name. I give the command, so Benny here. As I'm saying here, I push the button. When the dog turns around, makes the commitment to coming to me, I let go of the button and I kick up the praise. Sometimes you might run into situations where your dog starts coming to you, but then it stops. Maybe it starts sniffing the grass or it gets distracted. So once that happens, you press the button again. Once you get that commitment, one more time, you let go of the button and you kick up the praise. So let's say your dog sniffs something, you call it to you, you know it's coming to you, but then it decides to sniff something, you would push the button again. Once the dog starts looking at you and returning to you, you let go of the pressure and you do the same thing you normally do. Break. Benny here. Good job. Good boy. Break. Benny here. Good boy. So right now I'm going to take the leash off completely. You practiced many dozens times, many hundreds of times. So we take the leash off completely and we only use the e-collar. Same idea, dog's name, command, as we're giving the command, gentle leash pressure, or in this case, gentle remote collar pressure. The moment the dog turns around, commits to coming to us, we let go of the pressure, step up the praise, and give the food reward. So let's just do a few more examples. Break. Benny here. Good job. Good job, buddy. Break. Benny here. Good job, buddy. Good boy. Break. Benny here. Good boy. Good boy. Good job. Benny here. Good boy. Good boy. So that's what you would do. You do this hundreds of times. When you step outside of your backyard and you decide to work in the real world, you have to go back to starting on the leash, do the whole process again. Remember, you have to do this hundreds and hundreds of times. Don't just do it like I'm showing you right now in like 15-20 minutes. Hey everybody, it's Jakub from Montreal K9 Training. So let's just finish up, let's recap what we learned today. We introduced the recall command. So we say the dog's name, we give the command, it could be either come or here, doesn't matter, but stick to one word and just use that one word. So you say the dog's name, you give the command, as you're giving the command at the same time, gentle leash pressure, the moment the dog turns its head around, commits to coming to you, let go of the pressure, start backing up, open your arms, kick in the praise, good boy, good boy. When the dog reaches you, give it a food reward. Remember, we're not using treats, we're using the dog's daily food. If you have a puppy, anything under 4 months, just use a regular split lead to get the dog used to pressure on, pressure off. Once your dog hits 3.5, 4 months, you can introduce the prong collar or the e-collar. The way I teach with the e-collar is I'm not zapping, I'm not shocking dogs into listening. I use very low levels, very gentle, soft forms of communication. The reason why we use the e-collar, it's the only safe way to have your dog off leash and to guarantee a 100% recall under extremely heavy distractions. And that's what my clients want. They want a reliable recall because they take their dogs to the beach, to the hiking trail. They want to be able to take their dogs to off-leash events, family vacations, and it's only possible with 100% recall. We layer the e-collar over existing knowledge. So we start off on the leash and we slowly transition to off-leash e-collar training. Remember, we are never correcting the dog. This is a learning stage. So we're not correcting the dog, we're guiding the dog, we're giving it information. We want to encourage the dog to solve problems on its own. Start off by working inside of your home, inside of the backyard where there's an enclosure and your dog can't run away. And then in the future you can go outside, start working distractions. When you're working distractions and when you're working outside, make sure, this is a big mistake people do, they take off the leash too early. So make sure your dog is always on the leash. You build up distance, so at some point you want to get a longer leash. The reason for that is because, let's say the dog gets distracted, it's not coming back to you. You don't want to just be increasing the pressure. You want to be able to have that leash so you can gently guide it towards you. So you definitely need to keep your dog on a long line. So I guess that's it. I'll do a quick outro. My name is Jakub. My company is Montreal K9 Training. Website is montrealk9training.com. One word, letter K, number 9. Please visit my website. Follow me on social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like me, follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I wish you all of the success and I hope you have a fantastic day.